Go ahead.
Alright, what's up guys? We're gonna do a little profile on, I guess you'd call it some sort of hero beat deck. It's a weird mixture between the regular Gemini Light Sun and Mist Valley Falcon Control. We'll start off with the basics of the Gemini. 1, 2, 3 Neos Alias. Pretty obvious 1900 beater. Light lets you miracle into everything wonderful in the world. For that, 1, 2, 3 Thunder King Ryo. I think he's one of the most underestimated cards in this format. I mean, Tech Genius isn't really a big threat right now, but it stops them. Sangan, Dark Soul, X-Sabers do exist, and they can still sack the crap out of you. It also makes for a great opening turn play against Samurais. God, what else? Hitting those recruiters for Gravekeepers. And also the fact that they stay there and make them work around being able to synchro summon with a negator on the field. We only run 1, 2 Mist Valley Falcons. It's huge. It gets over pretty much everything, including Thunder Kings and everything else that's level 4. And it lets you recycle stupid stuff like Breaker the Magical Warrior, Call the Haunted, Fiendish Chain. And eventually it'll give me access to Wild Tornado. I play a single effect Veiler. I do play Fiendish Chains in here, but, you know, Chernade, Trap Stun, it's just too important to have one, plus it acts as a secondary fuel for Miracle Fusion. 1 Stratos, obvious. 1 Gale. I love control creatures, and the fact that he can cut anything that's not 28 or higher down and just straight run it over, and it's also the only tuner besides Veiler in this deck. So it gives you access to Black Rose Dragon, and actually since I play Breaker, Arcanite Magician, but that doesn't happen that often. Neo Scratching Grandmal, because, good God, is he wonderful for just removing terrible threats like Xian off the field, without them being able to Musakana Magatami. Still susceptible to warning like every other dude, but just a fantastic choice. And I only play 1 Breaker as of right now. I was boarding the other 2, ended up taking them out. You'll see what I have in there instead. Blast Back Rose. Recycle with, what's-her-face, Mist Valley Falcon. And regular, just a 1900 beater, gets over Rakaris and other stupid stuff. Now, spells. 1, 2, 3 Gemini Spark. Keeps people from actually deprisoning.
Yes.
That's that, and occasionally Bottomless, but you don't really see Bottomless a lot. So you actually get to throw aliases at people with reckless impunity because they just don't want to be plus on a freaking Gemini Spark. 1 Rhoda, Dark Hole, 1, 2, 3 Duality. There's almost, yeah, I know. There's almost no special summoning in this deck outside of Miracle Fusion and maybe Synchroing with your Gale or other people's stuff. So the dualities just help you find back rows.
Sexy.
Yeah, I know. Expensive as hell though. 1, 2 MST. Some of the decks don't actually play it, but I keep running into people that are either main decking or boarding a full set of defishers, and when you're trying to run with the Gemini engine and like keep plussing them with Hero Blast and things, it's the most annoying thing in the world. Also, Gravekeepers, Necro Valley, being able to hit Gateway turn 1 when you don't have a Thunder King to prevent it from happening.
So question.
Yes.
Since these went up to 2, some people think that this card is actually starting to die out since it went to 2. What do you think?
Die out when it went to 2? Oh yeah. Well, there's with fast decks like Plants and Samurais, it doesn't really matter that much. But this is a deck that's based on controlling the pace of the game. With normal summons, with your magic and trap cards, grind it down, and then just slowly wear them out of resources.
Right.
But with Trap Stun, Royal Decree, Giant Chernade, and no Cold Wave, they're better for making big plays. But for this deck and its purposes, it's better to have the MSTs. I only play 2 Miracles. I guess it's just a personal preference. It'd probably go up to 3 if I had access to the Fire guy and the Wind guy. But for right now, it's just to make those game-ending pushes. Miracle, remove Stratos, remove Alias, swing for 32, swing with other dude.
Gotcha.
1 E-Call. Some of them don't even play it, but I like having the extra 1 just because finding Stratos turn 1 when you're no Thunder King or something else and just getting that extra plus is huge. Book Reborn. You can understand why. Let's see. Over here, I play 1, 2 Hero Blast. They've kind of dropped in popularity with this type of deck in Japan, but I still love it. It stops people from going off with Samurais. Normal Summon Kageki. And it usually will hit Keyzon as well when they try to go off with it because he needs 3 dudes. Plus
So why
it's a plus.
two instead of 3?
You only have 3 Geminis in there, and they're the only normal E heroes. So I've actually had terrible situations where I'd opened up with no way of getting a Gemini, and then just having Spark, Hero Blast, and just like, well, that's not as good.
Okay.
And then I lose.
Okay.
There was no recovering from it.
Understandable.
Here we have 2 Fiendish Chain. It stops attack, it negates effects, and it's just truly fantastic.
This card's going up in popularity.
Well, yeah, because, sometimes you actually get to reuse it with stupid stuff, like Zephyros the Elite.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up playing at least one of him. And there's other stuff to do that's stupid with Zephyros, but you'll see that straight from somebody else. 1 Solemn, 1 Oppression, 1 TT, Mirror Force, double warning, which you can all understand all of that, I'm sure.
Pretty much.
And then I only have 1 D prison in here because I somehow lost my other commons, and I didn't feel like picking up hollows, so instead I play a second Scrap Iron Scarecrow, just one of him. But this actually kept me alive in one match for 7 straight turns, in which I should have been beaten to death by a Thunder King Rhino, and I just could not draw anything.
Amazing.
But it just sat there, 1, negate, over and over. And nobody really wants to waste an MST on it because there's just better, bigger cards. But it's one of the most annoying cards in the game. It's huge in Japan still right now, just because of its ability to keep you alive. Now,
They were smart. They pay attention to cards like that.
board 2 Fossil Dinos. You get to Miracle out into Gaia a lot easier, and also prevents big plays from being pushed against you. 2 Penguin Soldiers. I love to bring those in game 2, and when I'm going second, Samurais love to go turn 1 Shein no matter what they do, and just watching this guy send it back out of game and them not having anything to stop it when they swing into it is truly golden. 1, 2 Chain Disappears. You bring them in. I don't bring them in actually a lot against plants. It's almost always against Samurais just to hit that Kagemusha once, and it doesn't work after 1. If it comes in and they MST it, they're not going to walk into it the game after that if you lose. So it just comes right out. But the ability to completely devastate their game in 1 card is huge. Cyber Dragons, because Machina and Gadgets always tick me off, and they're fantastic against Gladiator Beasts. They can't get over it. 1, 2 Noblemen of Crossout, Gravekeepers, and Plants. Hit Rykos, hit Spies, win games. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of these guys yet, but they're just so good. Their ability to not be negated is insane. And being able to eat things, I've actually eaten a Judgment Dragon before, and it was really fun. But 1, 2 Kinetics again, mostly for the meta match and Samurais. He just makes an insurmountable wall. But between those and other cards that you boarded for Samurais, it depends on every situation. And just because I don't like worms, and for some reason I always play Lightsworn round 1 of every friggin' tournament I go to. I play 1 Light Imprisoning Mirror just to turn those POSs off. Extra deck is pretty simple. I have 3 zeros in here, even though there's no way for me to actually go into 3, as well as 3 Shinings, but I have all the extra deck space in the world.
Well, technically you could. Penguin Soldier, Stratos.
But I only have 2 Miracles, there's nothing in board. I mean, if I get lucky, I might be able to Super Poly with both Miracles still in there, but
Yeah, probably.
sometimes it feels like wasted space. 1 Gaia, 1 Draco Knight, Dragon and Kest, the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon in case you need it, and then just basic Synchros, Black Rose, Brio, Cataster, Scrap, Stardust, and 1 Trish. I actually have Trished people a lot. It's because you'll have 2 Neos aliases, normal summon a Factory and go Trishula, just to see if they do anything about it, because I don't have any support for them, and sometimes you want to make ballsy plays.
So is there anything to this you think you could change to make it better or faster?
Well, this guy definitely should probably be a D prison. Stall is fine, but removing big guys is a lot better. With time and with different cards coming out, like Wild Tornado and the Fire, it'll be a lot better to be playing the 3rd Miracle Fusion, but also you can experiment a little bit more. You don't have to play, say, why can't I remember his name now? Falcon. God, he's one of my favorite cards, and I can't remember Mist Valley Falcon. But you'd actually end up probably playing Debris Dragons or Rykos or whatever actually lets you make big plays as well as your standard 1-for-1 destruction.
Okay.
So this deck actually has a lot of versatility coming in the future. Right now it's kind of stagnant, so people have been moving away from it. But I still win tournaments with it. I still top regionals with it. It's really all about the player. Okay, that's all I got for you.
All right, thanks, Antonio.
No problem, man.